and we are live today with Moving Women Forward podcast series. I think we are in season two, not I think we are in season two. I can't remember the episode, maybe fourth or fifth episode. And this is an impromptu live. Basically, I was let down by someone, but that's fine. Having said that, I've got Angela here with me. Angela is a former BAFTA winning BBC presenter who presents conferences and live streams. So, Angela, I'll give you the floor to do the introductions properly. But I think you have also an urge, I understand, not I think, a burning urge to help small businesses um, to be themselves, to be seen, and to get there and thrive in their business and in life. So that fits very well with the purpose of moving women forward. It's a community platform, obviously, and then the podcast is one of the opportunities we have for guest speakers to empower our community. So we have the audience here who are women that are stuck, have ideas. Now I want to leave the floor to you. So there you are. There you are with the introductions, and then I'll crack on with the questions. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Jona. Thank you so much for inviting me on. And I know it was late notice, but I'm sure this is a topic that everyone wants to know about because it's something that we all need to do for our businesses. And it can be scary. It can be amazingly empowering. It can start off some crazy good conversations to get visible, however you decide to show up. And there are lots of different ways. So I'm really pleased to be here, and I hope we can help lots of people.
Angela, tell us a little bit what you do, what inspires you to do what you do. Thank you.
So, what I do for my main job is I'm a presenter and I host conferences, I host live streams, and so say I've been on stage at a conference, whenever I come off stage, there are inevitably people there who say, "How do you do what you do? I could never do that." And I know that's not true because for 30 years, I've been coaching people in how to get their messages out. And it doesn't have to be on a stage in front of thousands of people. It really doesn't. Your stage will depend on you and your business and your messages. And there's always something that works for somebody. But when I meet these people, it's almost like they're looking at this spotlight and this stage and this pressure and all these people staring and saying, "How do you do that?" And firstly, you don't do it all in one go. You make your way there, just like you did in your main career. Nobody suddenly jumps into being a brain surgeon in an operating theatre. Well, I really hope they don't. There's years of preparation and training and getting into the role and shadowing people. And so there's a comfortable route into doing what I do, but there's also a comfortable route in to just being visible for your own business and finding ways of getting that business seen. So I do what I do because I believe there are loads of people there with messages that aren't being heard. I work with people who are at the forefront of what they do, who have a passion for it, they want to tell the world. And if I can help them tell the world, I know the world's going to be a better place. And for me, when I talk to people who have their own businesses, they are so passionate about those businesses. They know it inside out. And I often think the world would be a better place if these small business owners spoke about it more and brought their goodness to the world more. So I guess that's why I do it, because there are so many people who are maybe even working another part-time job because the thing they love isn't bringing them the income at the moment because the other people are getting all the work. And I just feel there's an injustice in that. And we all have a great message.
I guess it does take courage, does it? It does take the courage to test, to risk it, actually, to get out of that comfort zone. Don't you agree?
There is a comfort zone and we do need to step out of it, but you don't need to step out of your like, if you remember how we all felt when we were all inside with COVID and then suddenly we went outside, it felt really unsafe and really weird, didn't it? Being among people, like the first gig or concert or big gathering you went to after COVID felt just really weird and uncomfortable because we hadn't been used to it. So if you're not used to doing something, if you're not used to posting on social media, if you're not used to seeing yourself on video, if you're not used to introducing yourself at a networking session, well, yeah, it's going to feel weird, but there's always baby steps to get there. And those baby steps don't have to feel uncomfortable or feel weird at all because you're in charge of them and you choose them and you're only doing them because you want to do them. And I often think that the people who see me on the stage and come and talk to me afterwards, they say, "Oh, I wish I could do that." Well, if you wish you could and you really want to, that's actually all you need to be able to do it because it's something to work towards. You just got to find the path.
We often encounter in the community, so in the moving women forward community, we encounter many business owners who have the issue, not the issue, but they feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can do it. Who am I to do it, or who am I to host such and such, or deliver such and such? So, how do we get them? How do we overcome and get them more visible without feeling
There's
uncomfortable?
there's always people who you feel, oh, I can't go and do that because I don't know as much as they do, or I'm not so much of an expert as they are. And we all have this imposter syndrome. So we know about imposter syndrome. But if I said now, hands up who's ever suffered from imposter syndrome, then however many people are watching, all the hands will be up because it just means you're human. And it's a beautiful human thing to do because it means you're not arrogant. And if you're watching social media, do you want to see material by arrogant people who are saying they're the best at everything? Or do you want to see material from genuine business owners who have a passion for what they do, who have solutions and answers and help? Because I want that one. I want the real people who just chat to me and make it feel comfortable and relaxed. So I think imposter syndrome is totally human, totally natural. But what you have to remember is that someone might have a long list of qualifications. It doesn't mean they're good at talking about it or understanding other people's problems. You might be a great listener. You might be amazing at understanding other people's problems and then being able to help them with solutions. So you have your unique perspective on everything. And it doesn't mean you're better than them or you're not so good as them. It just means you're you. And that's where the value is, especially these days when there are so many ways of doing everything. We all look for people who resonate with us and who chime with us. And believe you and me, there's a lot of quieter people out there who don't want the shouty. They don't want the I'm the best. I've got every solution to every problem that was ever made. They want genuine people to work with, people who they actually like chatting with. So if you've got imposter syndrome, I'm thinking that's a really good sign, Jona, for anyone who feels that way.
Well, I have to be honest, I do have mine at moments, not all the time, but I think that's more than natural, more than human, I guess. So I cannot say that I don't have it or other in the community don't have it, or even when I work with clients, I think all the time people have those issues, even those most successful, I guess, they do have that. But we see them as so successful, and then therefore, we think that they might not have that issue, right? And is it what you think, right?
it we all have to start from where we are and make our way towards where we want to go. And I'd love to say there's one short, crazy fix for it all. But it really is just a case of admitting that you're human, but also admitting what you want to do, where you want to get to, and who you want to help. So I don't think if the imposter syndrome was something that would stop you, like you have absolutely no qualifications in this at all, I don't think you would have started a business. I don't think anyone would start a business. So yeah, I think it's just a beautifully human thing to feel that.
So you have presented, you are still presenting, you're doing live streams, you are doing conferences, so you are hosting them also. Uh, but the question is, how do most businesses get visible on these major streaming platforms? If they are not streaming platforms, they are in-person conferences, as you mentioned, or other things, other events. How do they get that visibility? So what is the copy here? So someone can copy the same um, empowerment element.
There are as many answers to that as there are businesses. So for
One.
each business, for each business, you know who you're trying to reach. So you know who your message needs to get to, and you're trying to find those people. You're not trying to go on the BBC and broadcast to the world, because it would miss a lot of the people you wanted and get to a lot of the people you didn't want. So you're trying to find where your audience lives and then go and speak with them. And I say speak with them, not talk at them. Because again, if you look at television as a model, it's very broadcast, it's very one way. And people don't like that so much. They like to engage and have a conversation. So before people can buy from you, they need to trust you. So it's very important that you go into their world in a very nice, approachable way, so they can have some kind of conversation with you. Even if the first thing they see is a pre-recorded video of you, then they can still put a question underneath. They can DM you. They can find some way of getting their question answered. And all you need to do is reach them. But how you reach them depends on what you are comfortable with. So you can go networking. You can do a talk to a relevant group. You can do a TEDx if you feel like doing a TEDx. You can go online, you can do social media, which means you can do video, you can post pictures, you can tell stories, you can use case studies, you can interview your clients. It's a matter of really thinking, what does my audience need? Do they have a problem they're trying to solve? Do they have a crisis of confidence in something? What is it I'm trying to get to them? So what would help them the most? And then give them that thing that would help them, or that thing that they would identify with. So there is no one right way to be visible, either for yourself as a business owner or for your customer who is trying to reach you. But one thing is clear, Jona, and that is you have to reach them a lot. Because the Google rule of 7-11-4, which I'm just going to take the 11 for now. The 11 stands for 11 times that person needs to come in contact with you, your brand, your service, before they will consider actually buying anything from you. And the reason for that is simply trust. Back in the day, you would do business with local people and you would go and chat with them and you would have a cup of tea, and that trust would build very naturally, very organically. And you probably knew their family and your kids go to school together. And that's not how the world is now. The world is very digital. Well, are you just going to trust any rando you meet online? I don't think so. So people need that time now and come into contact with you lots of different ways, so that they think, yes, this person is genuine. This person has what I want to hear about. And they chime with me. I feel like I could get on with this person.
We're getting to the point that the conversation is the basis for building these relationships, whether it's a digital conversation by email, platforms, social media marketing, whatever the way of doing it is. But I think we're getting to the same point basically, conversation based. So everything is
Yeah,
what we want starts with a little spark, a little conversation online, like we did together, me and you, for example. Weirdly, we just
absolutely.
posted
Oh,
something, and there we are.
We had a little conversation at a networking. So I met Jona
Oh yeah, we did that in the
when
past. Yes.
I was networking. So I had just moved to the area and I was completely new. And where I had lived before, I had gone to some networking with some other creatives and local business owners and had really enjoyed, like, we didn't sell to each other or anything like that. It's just a case of getting to know people who have their own business, who are going through the kind of things that you're going through. Um, and that's how I met Jona. And I met several other people that day. And I really love being part of that kind of a network. But if I hadn't gone to that networking, if I'd said, oh no, it's going to be full of people who are judging me, and oh, they'll all think I'm going to sell to them, and it's going to be a lot of pressure, then I wouldn't have met you, Jona, and I wouldn't have met the other local business people whose just their company and their input I value so much. And I wanted to say that as well. Networking is a way of getting visible, but not necessarily to sell stuff. You know, there's a lot to be said for support, and there's a lot to be said for I'm always getting asked by my friends, oh, I really need such and such, do you know anyone? And I can say, now I can say, yes, I know I met this person here and I met that person there, and they're really lovely. You're going to love them. And I can genuinely recommend those people because I've met them in person. I've found out about them. So those conversations, which are the lovely bits, I think everyone in business enjoys having conversations. They start with the scary bits, don't they? They start with the visibility bits. They're getting out there on social media and going into networking and meeting people in person for the first time in a possibly quite a formal environment. So to get to those lovely conversations that we really enjoy, you have to do the other stuff first. And I'm all about making that bit more accessible, more enjoyable, and just feeling like it's the right fit for people.
It is the right people. If I haven't met you there, you wouldn't have connected with me on LinkedIn. Therefore, you wouldn't have seen my post, and then for that, you wouldn't have been here today. Like it's
I
such a,
would not be
it's such a
here.
yeah, it's such a very very meaningful way actually. So it's the true way how it works. So this is a pure example of tested and proven a situation really. Right, Angela, there's so much to talk about, but as you know, I have my questions here, so I want to crack on with those because I
Okay.
think the audience will really appreciate and find value, insight, and your advice on those questions. Now, we have, as I said, people who in the community who say I'm not good enough, but also they can say, "Oh, I'm not sure I can do it. I'm not sure I'm there. I don't know if I want to do it. Not if I want to do it in terms of if they want to do something, but in terms of if I want to go the extra mile and be visible and do this step and go, I don't know, in a networking event or so on." So this is because you have such an experience with introducing businesses to each other, also helping them to get seen. Uh, you are also a TV presenter, so you are not just a random person working at a networking event. So it feels natural for you. But I want to understand for other businesses who are stuck a little bit, or they still have the procrastination. If they are not procrastinating, they are feeling a bit overwhelmed with all this advice and things to do, places to go. So, what is your tip? What is the top tip that can bust that
My
barrier or
top
that?
my top tip, I think, is to actually turn around the way you're thinking about it. So people can think about being visible as a chore. Maybe I have to show up online. They can think about it as being something scary they have to do. So I have to do this video, even though I hate the sound of my voice or I hate myself on video. Um, and I want to turn that around. So, firstly, I know that people are passionate about their businesses, but I also realize that they are passionate about people getting the right information. So they hate it when people get the wrong information or can't find information and end up doing the wrong things, which can be expensive or can be hurtful or can lead them down the wrong path and can lead them to them wasting time. And if you've got a business that can help people, it's actually almost selfish to not tell people about it, because there are so many people out there that they could be helping if you go out and let those people know where the help is. Because if those people cannot find you, if they cannot see you, then they cannot find the solutions, the help, the advice that you are offering. So, I mean, coaches, for example, I understand that you typically coaches often have imposter syndrome, right? There's someone else out there that's better qualified. There's someone else out there with more years of experience than I have. Well, okay, but there's no one else out there that's you. And what if you're the person who that customer out there could resonate with? What if you're the person they finally feel like they could reach out to get help with their situation, and they don't like the ones they've seen so far? They don't like the shouty approach, or they don't like the they just haven't found anyone that chimes with them. So don't let those people go unhelped. It's actually a generous thing to do, to reach out to somebody when they are going down the wrong path or in a time of need or confused and bewildered, and saying, here I am. If you want any advice or any help, here I am. So I think we need to kind of turn it round and stop saying to ourselves, I need to put myself through this just to get seen, and think, hang on a minute, what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to find those people who are in trouble, who are confused, who need me, so that they can find their way to me. So you're actually being helpful. And the other thing is, people worry about being judged, or what people will say if they start doing video. Well, what people will say, I mean, frankly, if we all knew how much people talked about us when we weren't there, we'd be disappointed, because they don't. These days, video is not new. So if you see a video on your feed that doesn't interest you, then you've already scrolled on by. So they're not going to judge you, because they're not going to bother to watch it. If you look at the statistics on YouTube, or Instagram, people are swiping the whole time. They are just swiping to find something that starts to resonate with them. So don't worry about what other people are going to think, or that you will be judged, because they're probably not going to see it. And if you position yourself and you put it into those channels where your audience is, they're the ones who are actually looking for you, and they haven't found you yet.
I was about to say the same thing, actually. I wanted to add the same thing, that definitely you are not resonating with everybody. Therefore, not everybody will stop and watch your video or listen to you on a podcast, or come to your networking events. I do networking events. I host them monthly, as you will know, Angela. But not everybody is coming to my networking events, obviously, for very many reasons. And the obvious reason that probably it's not their audience, it's not their target market, it's not their group, right? So therefore they will not feel it is worth. It's the same with social media, right? You think it is a little networking platform where when you scroll, therefore you don't stop by, you don't go to that place, so you don't visit the place or the shop. It is the same, isn't it? But yes, that is a really interesting conversation. We are almost at the end. We are almost at the end of the session. But Angela, I'd like to hear from you if you are hosting a podcast, or if you are hosting an event or something, a masterclass, or anything that you are wanting to share with us today. So the audience who is resonating with you in this instance can join and follow you on the platform or event. much?
So the easiest way to look me up is on LinkedIn. So I'm Angela Lamont on LinkedIn, and people can message me or just connect, and we can have a chat. But in the autumn, I'm starting to launch a whole range of resources about becoming gently visible. So if this is something that you have been tentatively considering, but it's all just too ick. I don't want people to feel that I'm showing off. I don't know what to do because video feels uncomfortable, and you're just trying to find your way. Then I've got lots of challenges that you can do that are very gentle. They're sort of baby steps challenges to help you define your own path and find your own way. So you find something that feels comfortable for you to get your message to those people who need to hear it. And that's all kicking off in the autumn. But for now, messaging me is the best way.
Wonderful. That's amazing. Thank you, Angela, for sharing that with us. You can pop the link of any, if people want to join or something, under the thread when we wrap up the conversation. But right, I had one last question actually. I almost forgot it. I've forgotten it actually. But let me just have a few seconds to think about what I wanted to talk about. Right, yes, yes, the visibility, the visibility, going back to visibility in events, in going, so going back to visibility online, it can be either. Uh, how do we step into that visibility? So, how do businesses who are feeling again, oh, I'm not good, I'm not worth, I don't know how to, or someone is better than me, obviously comparison, but we're not talking about comparison here. One step, one step, how to get out of it.
Ask yourself the question, why are you not there already? And listen to yourself as to what the answer is. And if that answer is, well, because that particular platform or that particular vehicle would not get me to where I want to be, great, you've made a good decision to not go with that method of visibility. But if the answer is because I don't know how to do it, or because I find the idea uncomfortable or scary, then there are so many smaller steps you can take, because you might be thinking about jumping straight into this. You don't have to jump straight into anything. I could give you the best thing that ever happened to you, but if I did it to you suddenly, it would be a real, like if I said, Jona, you're going on the trip of a lifetime, but you leave in half an hour.
Trauma.
you know, you're going to get to the other end with all the wrong things packed in your suitcase and not able to
Or
really
nothing at
enjoy it
all.
properly. But if I said, oh, let's go on a trip, let's work towards this, let's discuss where we want to go, let's discuss what we're going to need, let's discuss how we're going to get there, and you are an instrumental part in choosing all of that, then you would love it, Jona.
I'm up for it, Angela. Done. With no suitcase, just me on board, and I'm ready to go. Definitely. And that would be amazing. Imagine if it was real. Like, but it can, it's an opportunity, and everything in life is an opportunity, I guess. So we have all these opportunities lined up. It's when we jump on that opportunity, isn't it? That's the moment.
Yeah, and but it's actually the moment before that, Jona. I believe it's the moment when you realize that you can. You just haven't found the right way to do it yet. Because there's so many people out there who are still working part-time jobs, doing something they don't like, or not realizing their true business goals just because they are being overlooked. And you need to get from overlooked to overbooked. And the way to do that is by getting visible. So you need to find a way of doing it, because that is how you get to do the thing you love and be a success at it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you, first of all, for jumping at such short notice on this conversation, on the live talk. Thank you, everybody who has watched us live and who is going to watch the replay. It will be there available for you. Tune in next week with another guest expert. Actually, it will be one of my clients, as Angela mentioned, is a good way to help with visibility your old clients, your past clients, your present clients, and other people in your community or around you. So thank you again. I will see you soon.
Thank you.
Chat later. Bye, Angela. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.